So thank you all for joining us for our June PMO Director Interview meeting. Very gracious to have Fawaz Tunkar join us from the Middle East. Fawaz, if you can kind of give a brief intro about yourself before we get into some of the details of your learnings about PMOs and your experience to date. One of the key reasons we're having this meeting is to share learnings with the PMO community about what PMO directors have learned from their experiences, opportunities, and their vision going forward. To share that, so we can all learn from that and collaborate together moving forward. So
Okay,
with this
sure.
said, Fawaz, if you want to do a brief intro, that'd be great.
Okay. Let's start with the education. I'm an engineer, actually. I started my bachelor in mechanical aeronautical engineering, and then I did my master's in quality systems engineering in Montreal, Canada. I got a lot of, let's say, many of executive certificates from NCAD. However, I started my career doing in construction, actually, projects. Um, and going through these technical stuff with construction problems and issues, you get that, that toughness and thick skin dealing with the sun and sand and people. However, and 2017, I started joining the government, starting from the Ministry of Economy and Planning at the starting of Vision 2030. And then I moved into the financial sector with the Ministry of Finance. I had to be the program and portfolio manager for one of the transformational projects there in terms of the methodology of how to do the budget transformation of doing the budget for Saudi Arabia. And then I moved into another sector, the hospitality sector with the area authority, where they're gonna build, let's say, the baseline of luxurious hospitality destination, okay, in Riyadh. And then I moved into another sector, in the industrial sector. Actually, I moved into the financial sectors again, in which with the Saudi customs. I worked there until like for 2 years, and then I moved into the industrial sector also with the Saudi Export Authority, where I worked with the team for the national export strategy and to get it into the approval from the center of government. Then I moved now into the cultural sector, okay, with the Saudi Film Commission. So, as I'm working right now as the director of project management office and performance for the Saudi Film Commission.
Excellent. Thanks for that very detailed update and overview of your background. I appreciate it. So one of the first things we'd like to cover with you is based upon your broad experience across all these industries and very dynamic and intertwined, what have you seen as the major learnings, the positive benefits of having a PMO in place, and how it's so important in organizations in your experience?
Um, in my experience, you need, let's say, as you have business units, and you need someone to overlook and answer the question: Are we doing good or not? And what is good look like? So here comes the strategy and the PMO. You put all the objectives, pillars, and KPIs, and you want someone to make sure that these are achieved. And throughout the year and throughout projects, transformational project, throughout business activities, you need a unit that has an eye over everything that is happening and raise red flags if there is any, raise issues, and also make sure that things are going the right way. Meaning, at some point, maybe we can discuss this later. At some point, you need to ensure that these objectives throughout quarterly or throughout the years are being met. However, if it's not, someone just, I believe there was a terminology that, okay, you need to work as you were on a speedboat, meaning you need to be agile. If it's not working, it's okay to change destination, but you need someone to tell you, okay, we need to change these KPIs, we need to change these objectives, and okay, we're having issues here and there, and it's okay to change. There need to be
Yep.
this transparency and agility. And that's what
Great.
what you know what PMO should be doing.
So there's a new concept about value PMOs versus traditional PMO from a governance aspect. Any comments about that you can think about?
Of
This
course.
is sort of the new learning and thought process and terminology.
Um, it's not only about the government sector. I believe in all sectors. You need that handshake in which I always, let's say, tell my team and you know, my colleagues that it's either you be the traditional PMO, and maybe people will get angry with me. You be like a highly paid administrative employee in which you just report status. Okay, and this is everyone can do that, or you just okay measure the impact, and you know, you just read the strategy, understand KPIs, read the cascade of KPIs, and know exactly where the organization is going, and then you act upon that. So you just don't only monitor, you plan, monitor, and act upon whatever is happening.
Mhm.
So, and throughout, and you would help decision making in which budget planning, you would help, you know, canceling or adding more projects, okay, or activities, or even you can have an impact, okay, an assessment, uh, um, an end of year assessment in which did we do good? What can we do better? Okay, and all will be supported by data and number. So in order for you to do that, you don't need only to have, let's say, a PMP certificate or just have a knowledge in project management. You need to have extensive knowledge in strategy, performance, project management, and combine all these knowledge together to come up with a value oriented PMO rather than the traditional PMO in which, you know, just have charts. This is late, this is on track, and this is, you know, partially late. Okay.
Great, great. So a lot of thoughts about PMOs are very tactical, again, administrative based, you know, reporting, governance, and even getting to the value benefits. But tell us in your experience, the soft side of it, you know, the more the emotional intelligence of PMOs and aligning with your stakeholders and how that's just as important than necessarily you see in a handbook, like how that sells the brand of the PMO to make sure everyone's tightly integrated and having that great relationship with your key stakeholders and even your PMO sponsor.
Okay. Let's if I go back like a step or two steps back, working with strategy, okay, that means that you have access to the decision makers in the organization. So meaning doing that, you need to have like a very high emotional intelligence in terms of dealing with different stakeholders, understanding exactly the nature of every decision maker, and uh, how to convey bad news and good before good news. Okay, and how to make sure that you can add value. You would, and how to deal with the resistance and challenges with them. And having this, not only the emotional intelligence, you need to have political skills also, in which to know exactly how to convey and influence your ideas, and also have to have people to collide with, and to make sure that these decisions are being made. Okay, so um, project manager, portfolio manager, program managers, or even PMO directors or GMs. Okay, they need to have this high skills in which to influence change. And sometimes, you know, dealing with people, not sometimes, most of the time. Okay, and this is maybe the most challenging thing in doing in project management, is dealing with people, different background of people, different. Me, maybe sometimes I just, you know, tell my team just Sometimes you need to choose the right time to meet with someone. And maybe you just need, okay, to influence someone through someone else. So it just, you need to have these skills at high level in order for you to succeed in organizations.
Great, great. From your experience, what are some opportunities you've learned? The best laid plans, you want them to go very, very well, but through those learnings, with all your experience, even cross industry also, that could be beneficial. What are some of the learnings and opportunities you've seen in your experiences managing PMOs at such a broad scale?
Um, if you want to win the formula, you need to have a Ferrari, you need to have a McLaren. Okay, so you need to have a very good team, okay, to do that. You just the project management offices contains not only by directors only. You need these, okay, the talents that you have. They need them to be at their A game all the time. So going along the way, working, I need and any PMO director or leader needs to make sure that these talents, okay, have the same vision and always can have very high skill, and make sure that these skills are being polished every time.
Mm-hmm.
It is okay to make mistakes, but it's not okay to be lazy, because it is a very sensitive unit. So um, usually when I do, interviews to the candidates or people working in the PMO, I just tell them, we will work long hours. You need to analyze everything. You will face challenges. You'll face frustration, and you need to be calm. You need to think, and we need to be very wise. And at the end, uh, you just can't um, succeed without the blessing and the support from the higher management. And if in order for you to do that, you don't need to create problems with people. You just need to always have solution and sit with them and have common goals, because uh, everyone would ask, what's in it for me? If you want me to follow your policy and procedure, what's in it for me? You're gonna make it easier for me. You're gonna help me succeed, because this is our job, is to make everyone succeed, not to showcase the failures and
Mm-hmm.
the bad side of every business. So this is mostly, um, you need, maybe to sum it all, you need to be standing in the thin line between love and hate. So people don't know, okay, whether if you're too nice, they're not gonna go and follow the procedure, and if they don't like you, they will not, okay, support you.
Yep,
So
yep.
that's it.
Has your team ever been involved in like any turnaround recovery strategies they had to get involved with, and any learnings from that coming out of that that you inherited, or you were asked to kind of, because you have a sort of a well-run machine, get involved with looking at anything of that nature that you can share those opportunities from that kind of scenario?
So you're telling me that if I had any opportunities in which my team has to be involved with strategy, right?
Yeah, more turnaround. They inherited a program or project that wasn't run well, not on your watch,
Yeah,
and they
it can. Yeah, it is
yeah.
all the time, all the time. You need to be, um, and before we do that, we usually, I tell them, always manage the expectation. So before you say yes to anything, you just, manage the expectation of the stakeholders. Just tell them, okay, I'm gonna take a look at it. I'm not gonna give you any promises now. Let me take a look and exactly give you the current state and give you a timeline and the needed items for it to succeed. If this is are not met, we cannot meet your expectation. So we very transparent, in which
Mm-hmm.
um, sometimes you think that getting more work, okay, we're gonna get you succeed, but sometimes be careful what you wish for. You might get something, you fail in. So we need always to manage the expectation. And at the end, okay, how do you say that the project is a success? Is it meeting the timeline, getting it on budget, good quality? No. If the main stakeholder is happy with the result, that's where you see that your project is a success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So the next area we'd like to cover for was is what's your vision for PMOs over the next 10, 20 years? Where do you see them going based upon where the industries are headed, the methodology, and then just this expertise practice. Any thoughts on that?
You need these kind of units. You need these kind of skills. You would have the PMO if you think if you zoom out, look, you would have that unit in which have talents that are resilient. They know exactly, they read, and they know exactly where the organization is headed. They have full analysis of uh, what should be done and what should not, and they have the ability and capacity to tell you, okay, that we're not doing good and we need to change this and that. And we might tell you that we're not utilizing your resources and budget very well. So you need, okay, for the next, let's say, period of time, you need this unit to be live. Just imagine yourself having these talents only under one unit, okay, telling you exactly, telling the board, telling the leaders and the executives that we're not doing well. Okay, in this sense, and in order for us to do well, we need to do this, this, and that. So I believe it is much needed for the project management offices to be existing in every organization.
Nice. Do you think the certifications play a big role in terms of resources assigned to a PMO, or they're just a nice to have, and it's more about their people skills and how they're able to, design and deliver working for you? What's your thought on that?
You mean digital applications?
No, it's just general certs in the industry regarding project management, technical certifications. Do you think they really help as part of the team?
Um, sometimes, this is a dilemma.
Hmm.
I always say, if you have, let's say, if you get your master's degree, okay, how do you get it? You get it by getting certain courses, let's say 12 courses and 6 chapters of each book. Okay. So after you finish all these 12 courses, let's say, you'd have an accreditation from the university that tells you that you've passed and you got your master's, right? What if you read all these 12 books, okay, all 6 chapters of these 12 books, okay, you would have the same knowledge as the one holding the certificate. So the difference would be that there are someone uh, uh, give them accreditation that they have completed this. So you just cannot say it is mandatory or not.
Hmm.
So it's all about experience and knowledge. You can read all the books there if you're updated and read all the articles and you try new methods. Okay, you will always reach the outcome. So answering this is kind of complicated. So there is no right answer to that.
Yeah, it's the old adage, the practitioner versus the academic thought process, which is more valuable. The best of both is what we've seen as, the most impactful. But the practitioner can have a big impact too, not only the academic. So it's sort of along those lines. Excellent. Any final comments or words for us, Fawaz, before we wrap this up?
Um, I have in the GPMF. I had a panel discussion about how to restrain talents in PMO, and usually and we had like we wrapped up by a message that we're sending to everyone who's in this area of work. Project management is fun because you always have to work on something different. Okay, or you're not just you're not just um, getting into one line of business along the way. You can work on project in accounting, project in finance, project in culture, project in industry, so in construction. So you get to know everything about everything. So maybe the last thing that we can wrap this up, there is always a say, but always have a plus equal minus um, formula in your life. Have someone to look up to and uh, teach you. Have an equal, a peer that you can compete with, and have a minus, someone you can teach. And in our line of work as in project management. We need to do that. You're always in a journey of learning, and always have a beginner's mind in which accepting new ideas and new um, methodologies. So it's all about, getting new ideas, apply it, see if it's working well or not, and have your flavor on it.
Growth mindset, right? Always
Yeah.
continue learning, and the
Yes.
cup is always empty.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. Any comments or words from you, Omar?
Was talking with you triggers many thoughts. As always, I'm aware of time. I have just a couple of follow-up questions for you.
Mhm.
You've mentioned that your philosophy is everyone should succeed, and this is what you promote. I've witnessed that. How's your approach toward balancing a success in a project and your PMO success? How you balance these two together, knowing that projects sometimes, most of the times, are owned by other units, businesses out of the PMO, and you need to balance this tricky two big things.
As I mentioned before, they will always have a question, what's in it for me? So if you go, no one would refuse if you just go and tell him that I want you to succeed, and in order for you to succeed, you need to do this, and that, and I will help you succeed. So it's not about getting the glory. It's about if everyone is succeeding, automatically the PMO will succeed. Simple as that.
Great. Thank you, Fawaz.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, take care.
Our
Thanks.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.